hello everybody. New video from Big Apple Pipes. This week I want to talk about the old Dark Fire from Mac Baren. This is a tobacco I've been looking to try for quite some time now, but for a reason or another, I have always tried something else. In general, I don't want to talk only specifically about this tobacco, that of course it will be the subject of this review, but I also want to say something about the HH series from Mac Baren, because I think it's very interesting, and they are coming out with new products quite often, and they're always very interesting for a passionate pipe smoker as me and you can be. Um, the reason why it's because McBaren, in the common sense, it's really not, at least in my mind, associated to very high quality tobaccos or particularly good tobaccos, but it is rather associated to more mainstream names, and it has this image of one of the big ones, right? In the pipe tobacco market industry is quite different than the cigarettes or standard tobacco, so you don't really have the big corporations, but especially in recent times, there has been some concentration, and now you have a few very big producers, very big also relatively to the pipe tobacco niche of the market, and then you have a lot of smaller artisanal brands. So we are mostly used to talk about these smaller producer that produce very high quality tobacco. I'm talking about, of course, Germans, of course, Gewit, Ogart, very small. Also, Cornell and Deal is pretty artisanal. They're not very big. I mean, yeah, they produce Cornell and Deal. They produce a lot of blends, but if you look at the way they do things, it's still everything handmade, and they're just a bunch of them. They're not like hundreds of people. And then you have these very big names like McBaren, like Scandinavian Tobacco Company, actually those two, which are acquiring more and more brands. If you think about it, Scandinavian, they produce um, so many tobaccos, so many brands. McBaren, same thing. Satellif is part of McBaren. STG, they own a bunch of brands. They also own the website Pipes and Cigars. So they're pretty big. Therefore, usually they produce these very average, very marketable, also very well-known names, rather than small batches of very high-quality tobacco, very peculiar, and things like this. But this HH series seems to be a bit different in this sense. First of all, the HH is the acronym of the MacBaren founder name, Harold Halberg, something like that, that's the name. So that already gives you an idea that they are actually serious in this series of tobacco. And they're making what I find interesting is that it's a series of tobacco that tries to, how can I say, discover, explore, right? Explore is the right word. Each specific variety of tobacco. So, for instance, this old Dark Fired is a very nice flake. I already opened the tin. I've been smoking it for a couple of days now, but I will show you how it look like. Um, the concept of the flake made of Virginia and Burley, but in an English way, meaning that the tobaccos are hot steam pressed, and the result is very interesting because you have these very dark slices with this very sweet Virginia and the Burley that it's first dark fired, so it has that smokiness, similar to a Kentucky, but it's not a Kentucky, and the sweetness of the steam press on the Virginia. So it's very nice. It's a very nice combination. Then you have the bold Kentucky that explores the Virginia Kentucky flake, which is very interesting. Then you have the Acadian Perique. Then just recently they came out with the Rustica, which is very cool as an idea. So I'm very curious to try all of them. Because it seems something quite unique and also a nice step up in terms of quality, and also, how can I say, the the value, how this tobacco can be interesting, not just for the average pipe smoker, but for the pipe smoker that tries to, explore the taste, try to be a connoisseur that is not just buying the same tobacco and smoking the same blend for like 30 years in a corn cob, like the connoisseur, the aficionado, the kind of smoker that is looking to have a, how can I say, more comprehensive, better experience and explore the full potential that this instrument is able to give you in terms of taste experience. So here it is. I hope it was not too boring. All dark fired, as I was mentioning, this is a nice flake of burley, dark fired burley, and flue cured Virginias pressed together, steamed, and at the end of the day, they actually talk about an English mixture, not in the common sense because there is no atakia, but just in the way it is produced. Because also, Gareth Hogarth they used to steam press the tobacco, which is something which is very, very British, very, very English, and it's less common outside of England. It's the tradition of tobacco making. But now let's have a look about this tobacco because it's very interesting. And then I've already been smoking it for a few days, and I will keep on going because, as you know, I smoke just one blend for the entire week or until I get to the end of the tin, whatever comes first, and then I'll tell you what I think about this tobacco. So now let's do the unboxing and let's see how it looks like. Here it is. This is the tin. Of course, as you can tell, I bought this in Germany. I don't even remember when. The price in Germany is like 11.5 euro. I think that in the United States it's pretty similar. You can find it online for like $10, $12. I don't remember. And actually, in Germany, in United States, the tin looks better because you don't have these very big warning labels. But anyway, now as I said, I already opened it, especially because I already did the first portion of the video for my Italian channel as well. But let's see how it looks like. So this is it is. This you have the description. It is in Germany. It's pretty much exactly what it's written on the Mac Baren website, which is exactly what I told you. Actually, here they talk about Dark Fired Kentucky. However, we know that Dark Fired Burley, it's not Kentucky, so it's quite different. So I don't know why they talk about Kentucky here, but anyway, I don't speak German, so I have no clue what else they say in here. Anyway, let's go on. It's very nice because you see, it's very nice way packaging. It's very nice packaging. You have the Mac Baren flake and website, which is like printed. It's very nice. It's pressed into it, and then you have the flakes here. So as you can see, it's a pretty dark tobacco. You have very nice flakes. I hope you can see the color is super nice. It's this dark brown rather than just pure black. And you can tell there is, like lighter brown tobaccos and darker tobaccos. And the smell, it's so nice. It actually smells a little bit like Kentucky. You have that kind of smokiness, but again, this is all this dark fire tobacco, so the smokiness is pretty understandable. But then you have this subtle, like sweetness, like raisins, like dried fruit in the background, a little bit like leather. It's so nice, so interesting. Leather and wood and dried figs, something like that. I don't want to be too specific because I hate this kind of specific description. I just wanted to give you a little bit a hint of the idea of what kind of flavors you can have, but it's very leathery kind of flavor. It's so inviting. It's very, very nice. They're pretty moist. They're very precise slice as you expect from Mac Baren. Look at it, very thin, so you can just rub it very easily, or you can also fold it and put it in the pipe, depending on your preference. Anyway, now let's move forward. I will smoke this. I will keep on smoking it actually, and I will let you know how it is. In the meantime, if you had the chance to try it, I'd be happy to read your comments. So here we are. I've been smoking this old dark fire for the entire week, and I really loved it. I mean, as you can see, I completely finished the thing in just 1 week, which is pretty remarkable, especially because it's not a very light tobacco. It is actually pretty strong, but not as strong as I imagine the new Rustica or the Bold Kentucky is supposed to be. But it's very interesting. So the first thing I really liked about this tobacco is that it's quite surprising. As I mentioned during the unboxing, when you open it, you smell it, and you definitely smell this sweet Virginia flavor, like figs, dried fruits, but there is some smokiness that it's really not common in Virginia flake. So it's kind of a little odd because you have this sweetness, but you have a lot of leather, a lot of smoke, a lot of earth notes. So it's quite interesting when you smell it. But then when you smoke it, it's even more odd. It's even more surprising. When I started smoking it, the first few bowls, it was very, how can I say, very dark, very strong, like dark cocoa, earth, nuts, coffee, and also there was some spiciness on the tongue that was really not entirely pleasant, if I have to say. So I was like a bit disoriented, let's say, because I mean, at the beginning I was smelling this very nice and sweet note, but then it was very dark. But after a couple of bowls, I already started noticing that the last third of the smoke, it was very sweet. It had that sweetness that was actually very satisfying. So it starts very dark, and then there is this evolution. It's like going from the dark side to the light side, if you know what I mean. And then after I got used to it, so after a few days, I was only, it was, reverse. It was mainly sweet with this dark smokiness. So it's a very interesting and satisfying tobacco. The nicotine hit is definitely medium to high, more on the medium side, so it's very satisfying. The flake is the typical Mac Baren flake that is very easy to rub and load, and it's very easy to smoke. But then the flavor is so satisfying, and I want to say that I found it super satisfying if you have the chance to smoke it in narrower bowls, so in like chimneys or smaller billiards, rather than a big pot or a 55 or a very big billiard. So my suggestion is try it in a small chimney, or even a standard chimney, but not with a diameter that is too wide, because in a narrow chamber, I really found it like shining. It was amazing. Um, so what can I say? I really liked it. It was surprising because at the beginning it was dark, spicy, a little bite on the tongue, and then when I used to it, because I mean, as I've said many times, I only smoke one tobacco at a time, so I only smoked this for the entire week. So my mouth got used to it, and when you get used to it, you start noticing other details that at the beginning are a little bit on the background. And so it started becoming more like raisins. It was very sweet. It has this sweetness, but it's dark and smoky and satisfying, and it's the body is there. So it's a very complete tobacco. It's never boring. It's not overly complex. It has that right amount of complexity, so you can definitely enjoy it. And as I said, it's great in narrower or smaller bowls. Also because if you have a very big pipe, it burns very slow, so it's like never ending. So it's also the nicotine, it start getting a little bit problematic. So my suggestion is try it in a chimney or a group 1 or 2 billiard, and you will love it absolutely. So I really liked it. I will buy more. I will keep it aging, and now I can't wait to try more of this wonderful HH series. That's it. See you next time. I'll probably start talking about something that I don't know why it seems to be not very well known in USA. So maybe it's time to talk about it. Let's do it. See you next time. Let me know if you tried this old Dark Fired, whatever is your thought, whatever is your experience. I will be very happy to try to hear from you. So see you next time.